Today we're taking on a topic familiar to all of us, something we as human beings and creatures of Earth itself all share in common. We've fought wars over it. We've fought wars with it. We use it in order to feed millions, and it has been used to make bombs that kill hundreds. It's killed and saved heroes and villains alike. What is it, you ask? It's poop. Bear with me here. See, we've talked about it on and off again with the last few episodes, touching on it when we talked about the Guano Wars in the Potato episode, as well as during the 30 Years' War episode. So, first we have to state, not all poop is created equally. Some is perfect for fertilizing crops, like the guano of bats and birds on rocky islands. These are considered to be, quote, hot fertilizers, end quote. They're exceptionally good at their job, but are high enough in nitrogen that they can tend to burn more sensitive root systems. Manures like that of horses, cows, sheep, and goats are normal fertilizers. Manures from animals like cats, dogs, or pig manure should be avoided at all costs, because they can harbor diseases that affect human beings even after composting. Now, you can't poop on a plant and spread that around either. Farmers tend to shovel the feces into piles and compost them for a few months. Many say at least 6 months. Fresh manure can contain bacterial pathogens like E. coli and parasites like tapeworms. So it's best to let that just sit for a while. Over there, in the corner, and not bother anybody. Which leads to the familiar scene where basically, if you really break it down, a pile of horse manure started the 30 Years' War. See, just a little rewind to the 30 Years' War episode. Remember when I was talking about how the Protestants threw the Catholic delegation out of a third-story window and they fell into a pile of poop and lived? Well, that was probably a compost pile. And if it hadn't been there, the drop would have surely killed the delegation, and the entire situation would have changed. See, the only reason why Ferdinand II had gotten the public's backing to start a war with the Protestants really was because they'd heard the story of the three men surviving and believed it was the work of the Holy Mother, the Virgin Mary. I'm not saying it would have prevented the entire war. It may have been inevitable, but it may not have been as popular, which might have led to rebellions as the war dragged on. And that would have caused all sorts of extra problems. So who knows, really, but it is interesting to think and speculate about. We also know that from the potato episode, the poop led to several conflicts in and around South America, thanks to the fact that bird poop is way more nutrient-rich than normal fertilizer, which in turn also led to the United States grabbing up several islands in the Pacific for the use of guano exploitation. While most of those islands are worthless by today's standards, the United States has either sold them off or traded them, but a few of them they have kept, including but not limited to the island of Midway, which played a pinnacle role in World War II. Without it, the USA wouldn't have had a forward observation point literally midway between North America and the Asian continents. Poop has been used forever as a sort of fertilizer, sure, but it's also been used as a weapon just as long, with ancient groups such as the Scythians would dip their weapons into the feces of animals, or other human beings, with the hopes of causing infections, forcing even glancing wounds to be considered near deadly in some cases. In the modern world, African guerrilla armies use the practice of dipping their bullets in manure to do the same effect, and in Vietnam it was common practice for the Viet Cong to coat punji sticks in either venom or feces to cause further damage to their victims. During the American Civil War, the Confederate States looked for alternative means to create gunpowder. One key ingredient to this was a thing called saltpeter, or potassium nitrate. In order to obtain the amount needed for it, they used piles of poop encouraged to rot by applying urine, which is pee. Every week or so, they would add a bunch of pee to the poop pile and stir it all together until it was a nice, mushy mess. Then they'd leave it alone, and after a while, the pee would evaporate, leaving white crystals of saltpeter on top, which then could be harvested to prepare gunpowder. Now, here's a question for you. What do Sir Francis Drake, Henry V, Dr. David Livingstone, Jane Elizabeth Digby, and Constantine IV have in common? They all died from pooping too much. Dysentery, to be exact. Dysentery even claimed the life of King John of England, or John Lackland, as some may know him as. For all of you who were not aware, he was the reason, well, the last straw really, why England created the Magna Carta, which greatly reduced the power of their monarchs. There was a whole war about it. King John was pretty steamed at his parliament telling him what to do, so he decided to kill them. But the parliament had the backing of the local armies, so King John went out and hired a bunch of mercenaries, who were actually quite good. Still, he refused to give up, at least until the Angel of Mercy came and put him out of everyone's misery. Yes, poop, the benevolent and merciful bringer of peace. So really, poop is a double-edged sword. We use it to grow our food, but we also use it to poison our enemies. We've used it as gunpowder and weapons. It's been used in contraceptives, I know, gross, right? And makeup, yeah, even grosser. Wars have been fought over it. Entire islands were bought up simply because they had poop on them. You can't escape it. It's all around us, and we all keep making more. But what do you think? Is poop a good thing, or would the world be a better place if we all just stopped pooping? I have my opinion, of course, but I'd like to hear yours, so write a message in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.